I want to welcome Janine Driver, the world-known human lie detector, best-selling author of the books You Can't Lie to Me and You Say More Than You Think. Now, last time I spoke to you, Janine, you told me you were working on 2 to 3 books.
Yes.
What is the update on that?
Oh my gosh. So one of the books is called 38 Words with Hidden Meaning That'll Change Your Life. And HarperCollins has expressed potential interest in that. And that's the one that I've got to push through. I think the first 11 words already knocked out. So I need to work on the other. And by the way, there's no book out there like this. It's going to blow people's minds.
I can tell you're excited.
Oh yeah, I'm really, really excited about it because it's stuff I've learned over the years from working with elite level people, not just in federal law enforcement, local law enforcement, but with psychologists that work with sexual offenders in jails, from parole officers, from judges. And there are words that when someone uses the word has a hidden meaning behind it. And if you can understand it, it's a game changer. I'll give you a quick little test. Ready? Here's the thing. If I said to you, hey, Erin, I'm going to meet you up for lunch, right? I go, hey, Erin, it's Janine. I'm on my phone. Hey, it's Janine. I just left my house. I'm going to get to the restaurant 10 minutes early. Take your time. I've got some work I can do. What's my hidden message?
You were on time and letting me know that you're there. I don't know.
Some people think, like you, Erin, that I'm just being honest. Like I'm going to be there and I really have some stuff I can do. Take your time. Other people will think I'm being passive aggressive. Hey, I'm going to be there on time. Actually, I'm going to be there early. You better be there on time. Other people think I haven't even left the house yet. I'm just trying to cover my ass to say I left. I'm going to be there early when in fact I haven't even left. But in all those things potentially could be true. But the hidden words here are just and left. The word just is a minimizing word. It means you're minimizing whatever comes next. So when someone says, do you have just a minute? Can I ask you just a couple questions? You are hurting your executive presence when you do that. Instead, if I said, hey, Erin, do you have a minute? I'd like to ask you a few questions, is way stronger than, do you have just a couple minutes? I want to ask you just a couple questions. It weakens our confidence, especially as women. Women tend to use the word just way more than men in a business setting. Now, the word left equals strife. I left my job. I left my husband. I left my wife. So just left my house. Whatever just happened at my house was some type of strife, and I'm trying to minimize the strife. So what you could say to me here is you could say, well, Janine, is today still a good time? Would you like to go to lunch next week instead? I'm wide open next week. Oh, thank you, Erin. If you could give me the pass, that would be great. Or when I get to lunch, you could simply say, how you feeling? Is everything okay on the home front? Because I've said just left, I'm minimizing that. Now, to play devil's advocate, someone might say, well, how else would you say it? You would just say, hey, I'm on my way. Hey, I'm on my way. I'm going to get there a little early. Take your time. Boom. When someone says I just left, they're telling you subconsciously, they don't even know they're doing it. They're letting you know there's a problem at the office or at the date they just left or the meeting they just left or the house they just left. So those are 2 of the 38 words with hidden meaning that'll change your life.
Janine, I say that all the time. I'll call someone thinking that I do. I say, do you have just a second? It's like when I say it all the time.
Some companies, CEOs forbid you to use the word just in an email, a text, or on the phone. They forbid it because it is hurting the brand to minimize like that. It hurts us. Instead of saying, do you have a minute? Hey, Janine, do you have a minute? Hey, Janine, can you talk for a second? Is way stronger than, hey, Janine, do you have just a second? I'm wondering if you just could get on a call with us really quickly. All that uncertainty. See, here's why it hurts us. We have mirror neurons, and I explain this in the book, but we have mirror neurons. That's why when someone yawns, we yawn. So if you come in hot with uncertainty, just is an uncertain word, right? So if you come in with hot with uncertainty, guess what? You make the other person feel uncertain.
I can see that.
Questions? What questions is she going to take out? How much time is she going to take out from me?
Yeah, I can see that now. How it's also like if someone did that to me. Now that I'm thinking of it the other way, I'm thinking anxiety. Like, what is she going to ask me? This makes me nervous.
Yeah, stop. Eliminate your justs. Okay. Immediately eliminate your justs. Okay. And look at it. So here's a homework assignment for people. I'm really big on I teach it, I show it, and or demonstrate it, and then I give you an assignment. So here's the assignment. Go to your cell phones after this podcast with Erin and myself. Go to your cell phone and just do a search of the word just under your text messages. At the top of text messages is a search function. Put in just, J-U-S-T, and see how often you've said it, how often other people say it, and then say the sentence again without the word just, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, which version of Erin is more successful and makes more money? The one that says, hey, do you have just a couple seconds? Do you want to just get together for a couple hours? Versus, hey, Janine, do you have a couple seconds? Would you like to get together for a couple hours? And you can eliminate the just, and you'll see it for yourself. You'll be like, holy shit, I want that person to work for me.
I can do that. Okay. I can tell you, I do that a lot. So I'm going to definitely
knock it off.
I'm excited about this book. What is the title?
38 words with hidden meaning that will change your life.
Is it fun to write?
It's wicked fun to write. Oh my gosh. One of the words is bored. Oh, it's so cool. And I talk about when kids say the word bored, what's the hidden meaning versus a business person says the word bored. If they're bored at work, what does this indicate? And when people find out what I'm going to share, it's stuff that's never been heard before. Because I went to a special profiling class in Chicago at Columbia College in Chicago. And it's information I've pulled from everywhere, including this profiling class. And so it's a game changer for leaders, for single people. I'm single. I'm on all the dating apps. Married people, parents, grandparents, entrepreneurs. It's going to be the guy that told me to write it. I coach him. His name's Jesse Itzler. His wife invented Spanx. Her name is Sarah Blakely. I don't know if I talked about this with you guys before, but Jesse Itzler, I coach him and I'll give him 2 body language moves and 2 words anytime I get to see him and get him on the phone. Mm-hmm. So he looked at me one time and he goes, we were in Vegas. He was speaking on the stage and so was I. And he goes, hey, Janine. I gave him a quick word. I go, Jesse, here's the word of the day. Blah, 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 blah. And he goes, Janine, how many words are there? I go, well, there's a lot, but there's 38 words with hidden meaning that'll change your life. That's the name of a book. You should write it.
I love that.
Well, I'm a Christian girl and like 5-6 months went by and I was talking to God and I'm like, God, I don't want to travel so much. I'm a single mom. My oldest son is 19. He's a freshman in college. My 2 littles are 10 and 11. Like I want to make money and work from home. And God said to me in my right ear, he talks to me in my right ear, and he said, well, Jesse Itzler, by the way, Jesse Itzler doesn't even believe in God. It's like, I sent you Jesse Itzler who told you to write that book. And I was like, oh,
I love that.
Yeah. So I'm working on that. And then I'm working on a body language workbook, which will be coming out in the next couple weeks. Yeah, that's coming out soon. We are uploading it, I think, tomorrow to Amazon, and people will be able to download it on Amazon. And so there's no body language book out there like this. It's just a workbook. It's 30 different days. You could do them consecutively. You could do 5 prompts in a day if you want. But we send you to different videos online. We teach you what to look for. We tell you what time code to look for. Then you write something about, just like you have this awareness, Erin, that you use just all the time. And you're like, now you can't unhear that. Every time you go to write just or you say it out loud, you can't unexperience that you just said it. You'd be like, damn it, I'm saying just again.
I know. I'm going to have to go back to some of my recordings and watch that because I'm not a weak person.
No, you're not.
I don't want to portray that.
Right. You want the inside to match who you're showing up as. Yeah.
Well, what is the name of that book coming out in a few weeks again? I missed the title.
Yeah, because it's constantly tweaked a little bit. I think it's 30 days to mastery of body language. Okay. Something like that, and I'll let you know so you can send it out to your viewers. And
you are very active on social media, so we'll see it there too.
Yes. I have an assistant. She lives in the Philippines. Her name's Lori, and she's. I have a new podcast that just launched this week, In the Driver's Seat with Janine Driver, and she pushed out a bunch of marketing stuff for that this week, and we're waiting for the approval.
You had a free class yesterday.
What was that?
You had a free class yesterday.
Yes, every Wednesday. I'm doing a free class for the next month. Every Wednesday, 11:30 to 12 East Coast time. And I ran a little late. I started late yesterday, but moving forward on Wednesdays, if anyone wants to join me, you just have to, we'll have to figure out how to get you the information. But you can follow me on social media. We post my link there. It's through Zoom. So I do it through Zoom, and I sell it on my website, but I'm giving 30 days for free for everybody for the new year.
And I saw it on Instagram for all of you guys in the chats. What platform is the podcast on? Karen is asking.
So we're waiting for all of them. So it's and I talked about Nikki Glaser, and I analyzed her body language at the Golden Globes for my first podcast. It's going to be on Apple, Spotify. We're waiting for iHeartRadio, and whatever your favorite podcast platform is, it's going to be there. So
it's gonna be a
some of
blast.
them are waiting for the approval. It was all uploaded yesterday. So it's the first episode. So they take a little while, I think.
It's going to be so awesome because you're so fun to listen to.
Thank you.
So, Janine, one of the main things that I heard today when everyone knew you were coming is that they want to ask you questions regarding body language in your books. Do you mind taking a few vent calls? We call it the vent line.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. So at this time, I want to invite the chat room to press the guest button. And if you have a question related to body language or to Janine's books or upcoming books, come up with your questions and I'll let you up. And Janine, you look fabulous, by the way.
Well, thank you, Erin. Today is day 7, no flour, no sugar.
I've been following your journey.
Really? Well, I turned 55 June 10th. So January 10th, I eliminated flour and sugar. I'm doing calisthenics. I walk every day. I read my Bible in the morning. I journal my grateful list. I do a manifesting exercise. If you remind me, I'll teach you and your viewers here what it is. And it is, it's bringing me not only joy, but business lead after business lead after business. It's literally unbelievable.
I love that. Yeah. The journey that I've seen you on is amazing. I have also done some of that stuff. I've lost 60 pounds myself. So
you look great.
Thank you. Yeah, I still got about 10 pounds to go, and I can't be so much of a Cheeto. But we got Connie on here, known as Con.
Hi, Janine.
Con.
Hey. How are you this evening?
Good. Thanks for coming up here on the platform and saying hello. I'm going to put a little lavender. This is my lavender here. I'm going to put a little lavender essential oil behind my ears as we talk, Con. So we're going to have some peace here and calmness. How can I help you, sister?
Well, I have your 2 books. And just a little bit of background. I'm a speech pathologist by trade. So body language is something that I teach with my autistic students and that type of thing. But wow, these were really insightful. I haven't gotten through them completely, but I did have some very interesting, when you mentioned the new right side rule.
Yes.
In this one, okay. What it made me think of was, I have 2 supervisors at work and they're supposedly level, okay. But it seems like there's one that's always trying to outdo the other or pull a power play, okay. So I know that it's the new right-sided rule now. So do you see that a lot in the businesses and professionals that they use that to show their power, like they put specifically people to their certain side?
That's a great question, Con. First of all, I don't think they intentionally do it, but do they do it? Yes, I think they definitely do it. And for those of you who have not read this in my book, what it is we used to think that. And we used to teach it, even me, when I came on with federal law enforcement, they taught it to me that if you want someone to like you, you want to be on their right side. But I was teaching a class one time and I was on someone's right side, a student, and I was standing there and I was saying, like, this is the good side if I want, and she was getting closed off and defensive and fidgety. She didn't like it. She was getting a little nasty. And I started testing people and audiences and asking, if you could sit anywhere in this room, where would you sit? Which side do you prefer people to be on? If you go to the movies, do you put your kids and your significant other to your right or to your left, if you can choose? And what I found out, it's about 50-50. Half of us prefer people on our right side and half of us prefer people on our left side. So for me, it's very interesting because when I travel, my side sometimes changes, but I'm aware of this often. It's so funny, Connie, that you're bringing this up because I was just flying here yesterday to California, Santa California. And I was on a side that I don't like. As you enter the plane and you're walking down, I prefer to be on the left side. As you're walking down the aisle, I prefer left side window. And I was on the right side aisle, and I'm like, what went wrong here? Like, I think my client booked it for me. And my favorite side to have people on, normally, like if I'm at a movie theater, is I would much rather have people on my left side at a movie theater. Because my right side is I feel attacked side. I think the reason on an airplane I like it opposite is my right side is open to the flight attendant coming up and down, people going to the bathroom. So it's like they're all giving me these little teeny hits off to my side that I don't like people on. So to answer your question, Connie, with regard to work, you can spot, and I mentioned this in the book, but you can spot based on, I believe, it's been a while, but you can spot someone's preference, your boss's preference or a client, based on how they set up their desk. If they set up their desk and they can do it in different ways, if they have the flexibility in the space,
Right.
and I have everyone coming to my left as my assistants come in, then it's more likely I like people on my left side. But if I have people coming to my desk, and you can see this in the Oval Office, every time there's a different president, they will take phone calls and there'll be famous pictures of them, go all the way back to Kennedy and Nixon. And you can see some of the presidents prefer all the meetings off to the right, and some of the presidents, same exact desk, same Oval Office, some of the presidents prefer meetings off to their left. So that would indicate to us which side preference. When we don't like someone or we want to intimidate someone subconsciously, you may always, it's not that you're putting them on your, it's not that you're standing on their bad side. You're just constantly putting them on your good side. Like I think I mentioned in the book, my son Angus, who's now 19, but still snuggles with me. If he's home, he gives me a big giant hug and sits on my lap, and he's 6 feet. But when he was a little kid and he would sleep in the bed with me when he was like 4 or 5, Angus's side preference, he likes people on his right, and I like people on my right. So I would sleep on my stomach, and Angus would sleep facing up, because that way we're both to each other's right side. So this is called the new right side rule. If you just start to observe people, you'll know which is the best way for me to persuade. And try it out with bosses, even on a date. You know, try sitting on different sides, slightly angled, and see, does their body language open up? Do they become more gregarious and friendly? Did that answer your question? So I think it happens subconsciously.
Well, because we tested her on this, on the one boss, because we purposely put somebody where we knew she wanted to sit, because she sits in the same spot in these group meetings all the time. And she literally had him get up and move. And then my second question was about like gestures and like nervousness and that type of thing. I noticed with the one that she had moved, he was doing a lot of those gestures, like fiddling with his lip, you know, in the soft body touching that you talked about in the book.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there inside just ready to bust out laughing, because every one of us knew there what was going on, because we were talking about the book at work.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
It really is. And then the only other thing, and I don't know now that it's really a question, because I know you have to go on to other ones, but when I read about when people answer questions, but they really don't answer the question, like using the word never, or, you know, they never give you that. Oh, where'd she go? Oh, there she is. They never give you that, yes, I did it, or no, I did not. It would be like, I would never do something like that.
Yeah, so truthful people convey, liars try to convince, and so they'll oversell. The strongest denial is a no. So if I said to Erin, hey, do you ever drink and drive? And if the answer was no, it should be flat out no. What made you ask me that question? Not absolutely not. What kind of person do you think I am? I'd have to be stupid to do something like that. Are you asking me if I drink and drive?
Exactly, yeah. But it makes you really, once you read it, it's like, you almost like second guess everybody. You got to really stop
Your
yourself.
emotional intelligence is growing, Connie, because now you have an increase in self-awareness and social awareness. So that's your emotional intelligence. That's really cool. Thanks for coming up and saying hi, and thanks for your questions. I appreciate you being here tonight.
Oh, thanks for being here.
All right. We do have Karina, I believe, had a question for you. Hi, Karina. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, Karina.
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's a pleasure to meet you here.
Hey, yeah, you look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, I was looking over I don't have it physically, but I was looking over the section, since a couple of videos on your second book.
Yes.
And one of the thoughts that I was wondering regarding like body language within the workforce is my personal experience. For reference, I had a HR manager, and he wasn't very tall, and I was taller than him. Mm-hmm. And I noticed it played a power dynamics. Mm-hmm. It was just weird. I've never experienced it before like that. Yes. And I felt I wasn't intimidated by him, even though he was HR. Where in the past, I felt like I would have been. And I didn't know if you've ever had thought or experienced the height difference within leadership.
Yes. Well, I'm 5'9", so I'm tall for a woman. I've been 5'9" since I think I was like 13. In my dance class, when I was sashaying and pas de marais, one of the kids' fathers said, "Who's the giraffe in class?" And I heard him, and it broke my heart. I was crying. It was really embarrassing. I stopped dancing after that.
So I'm on the shorter side. I'm 2 apples tall.
Oh, you are. You're one of the little ones. One of the little ones. Height matters. We think of. I think I may have mentioned this in one of the books, but height matters. If you think of the very famous painting of George Washington, he's like standing up on the boat and he's like this. Height sends the message of power. I met someone that knew. Who's the little guy that worked for Barack Obama in Chicago and then worked for Barack Obama when he became president? Rahm Emanuel is his name. And he's on the shorter side. And I know someone that met him and someone who knew him from high school. Rahm Emanuel's short. I don't know how tall, maybe 5'2", 5'4". For a man is pretty short. And everywhere he goes, he puts his hands on his hip or puts his hands on the wall. And so he's always taking up space. So when we take up space, we send the message of power. So if you lack the height that I have, you take up space in other ways, even putting your hand on a chair and taking up space will send the message of that power. I look like a giant, when I stand up like this, I look like a giant picnic blanket.
You look beautiful. Janine, I'm 6 foot, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you got power, sister. So in pictures and in meetings, sometimes us taller women, we actually need to take a seat. We want to not overpower the person who has the power, because what will happen is we become a threat to them and that doesn't serve us. I like to say, do you want to be right or do you want to be effective? So for us to be more influential and effective, sometimes we have to lower our stature, which means simply maybe sitting down when talking to someone. I'll give you a quick example. Lockheed Martin is one of my clients. No, it wasn't Lockheed Martin. They're a client, but it's Booz Allen Hamilton. And I spoke at a Booz Allen Hamilton event, and the senior vice president, this guy, Carl Solzano, I write about him in one of the books. Carl Solzano was there. And after I spoke, and he was sitting down outside the conference room, and I saw him. He's the position of power, right? Senior vice president. So I go over, and he's sitting in one of these low seats that you see outside conference rooms. And do I just sit? There's a seat next to him. Do I sit down next to him? Do I stand up? Do I shake his hand? Do I shake his hand while standing over him? Hi, Carl. Nice to meet you. But now I've got this power leverage. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want him to have the power. So what I did is I got down on my knees. And I got down on one knee, and I shook his hand at his level. And I got down on one knee, and I was like, Carl, Janine Driver, thank you so much for having your team bring me in. It's an awesome responsibility to bring in a speaker. It means a lot that you chose me to be your keynote speaker for this event. And he goes, Janine, you did such a great job. You killed it. I got a standing ovation, not to brag, but, let my ego get a little stroke there. And he said, Janine, take a seat. We became friends. We're still friends to this day.
Love that.
So, yeah, and he said, take a seat. And then later I went to his office, and he was telling me how to do bigger contracts with companies like them. And I swear, it's like I made a lot of money getting on my knees that day. So paying attention, I call it body leveraging.
Okay. That was a great question, Karina. Thank you so much for coming on the Vent Line.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Erin.
Bye.
Thank you, Karina.
Janine, I have a question for you as we wrap up here. What is one thing you want your readers to remember about your writing?
Wow. Today with ChatGPT, anyone can kind of write, I think, if you want to write. My dream was never to be a writer. So the people who out here want to be a writer, my story, if you're not familiar with it, is I have today they call it neurodivergency, I think, right? Neurodivergent. I have ADHD, so I'm all over the place. The last thing I would have thought to do, and I have a splash of dyslexia. Well, the last thing I would have done is write, even though I was an English major in college. But I liked the communication side. I liked radio and television, and I liked all about the public. I get on these TV shows because public relations. I took some courses in that, which I loved. And when I decided to leave ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, they gave me permission to teach outside the agency. So I wrote in the permission slip, like this letter I had to ask, be on TV shows, write books, be on radio shows. And the lawyer signed the letter thinking it's never going to happen. And 7 days later, after the signature, I was on Fox News with a guy named Tony Snow, who later became the press secretary under George W. Bush. He's since passed of colon cancer. He was an amazing guy. So I share the story with you. So I get on Fox TV. I put those on a website called liontamer.com. I still have that moniker, LYIN Tamer, because my specialty is how to tell if you're lying. I put that interview on the website. The Today Show, about a month later, is looking, there's about 4 body language experts. They see me and they go, oh, they watched the interview with Tony. It was February 3rd, 2003. Tony Snow liked me so much, he had me back the week after, and I was in New York City for an event, February 14th, 2003. So a week later, I put those 2 interviews on liontamer.com. Today Show sees them. They call me. They want me. I've been on the Today Show, I don't know, 50 times now. So I'm like, okay, what's the next big show? I'm like, Rachel Ray. She was like just starting out. Her show was like going like gangbusters. She'd been a couple of years on. I sat down on my bed. My son, who's now 19, was a newborn. He was about a month old. So think about it. This was 19 years ago.
19 years,
and
yeah.
I go on the website, rachelray.com. And I'm like, oh, upcoming segments. And it's like, do you think your kids smoke? Do you think your kids are doing drugs? Are you meeting your future in-laws for the first time? And let us know. We'll have you on our show. But I wrote and I did pitches. And I said, I'm the human lie detector. I could tell you which side to sit on to influence your mother-in-law so she loves you. I could tell you the 3 tells of lying if your kids are doing drugs, skipping class, smoking, having sex, the 3 body language moves to look for. So I pitched while my son Angus was sleeping. I pitched for about an hour and a half all these shows for Rachel Ray. It was a Wednesday. Talk about manifesting. And I get a call on Friday. Janine, Maggie Barnes, the Rachel Ray Show. And I said, Maggie, I've been expecting your phone call. So manifesting is you're going to see it, believe it, and act on it. So I wasn't like, oh, Maggie Barnes, the Rachel Ray Show. I wasn't that. I literally was at a state of manifesting, which is a lower based energy. And I was like, Maggie, I've been expecting your phone call. Which segment are you planning on doing? And she's like, do you have a press kit? I go, yes, I do. I did not have a press kit. She's like, do you have a press kit? I'm like, I sure do. And I've been in Cosmopolitan. I was in Cosmopolitan magazine a little bit. So at this time, within a couple of weeks, they like kind of hopped on the bandwagon after I was on the Today Show. So I put these, I got a graphic design artist. I put together a sheet and I did this press kit thing and I overnighted it to this Maggie Barnes and I was on Rachel Ray. Here's how I got the book deal. Rachel Ray, I spied on a woman named Nicole who couldn't get a second date. She's beautiful, successful, and she finally gets on the show. Rachel Ray sets her up on 3 dates. She's leaking a micro expression of disgust when she laughs. All 3 men think she doesn't like them, when in fact she did. So all 3 men said they would not ask her on another date. And she thinks I'm a producer. I'm giving her gum and fixing her lipstick. But really, I'm like punking her. I'm spying on her body language, taking notes. And we go live on Rachel Ray. Rachel brings in, surprises her. Hey, Janine isn't who you think she is. She's a body language expert. We pulled different clips. And then she says, we brought out your favorite guy. And they bring out Tony or whatever his name is. And he's going to go on a second date with you, Nicole. Yay. In front of a live audience. The producer forgot to bring out a chair for Tony. So Rachel Ray gets up, gives Tony her chair next to Nicole, and she comes and sits on my lap by what I call the grace of God, because I had written, I'm going to write books. I had manifested that. So she sits on my lap, Rachel Ray. There happens to be a literary agent, you can Google him, named Dan Lazar from Writer's House, who happens to be turning the channel, sees Rachel Ray. You can find this, by the way, if you put Janine Driver and Rachel Ray. I had short, spiky red hair. I look like Heat Miser. And she sits on my lap. He's like, what's this about? He goes, holy shit, there's a book deal in this. Body language can stop someone from getting a second date. And to make a long story short, it went into a bidding war. Ultimately, it was between Random House, Random House. HarperCollins was in the mix for a little bit. My second book was HarperCollins. But Random House and Hyperion, which is owned by Disney. And I said yes to the Disney deal because it was thousands of dollars more. Like 35, 50,000 more, I forget. And I said yes, but guess what? The Hyperion, my new editor at Hyperion, the Disney company, doesn't call me, doesn't email me, nothing. I don't hear shit. Nothing. And I'm like, I followed the money. But I really loved the people at Random House. Heather Jackson was the editor. When I said no to Random House, Heather Jackson sent me flowers, everybody, with a note that said, Janine, I understand you're going with Hyperion. They're going to do a great job with your book. I'll be the first in line to buy your book. And I hope we get to work together in a future project. That couldn't, So I don't even hear from my editor at Hyperion that I say yes to this $500,000 contract to write a book. But the woman I say no to sends me flowers and a note that she knows that they're going to do a good job for me and knows that she's going to be the first one in line to. I couldn't get out of my head. And so I called my agent and to land the plane, and I said, "Is the deal still on the table from Crown, the division of Random House?" And he goes, "Janine, if you do this, you're going to burn a bridge with Disney." And I go, "Listen, I'm not following the money. I'm following my heart." And that book, the yellow one that's above your head here, is became a New York Times bestseller. It's translated in, I think, in 18 languages. It was on the New York Times bestsellers list for 2 weeks in a row. She did, my editor, Heather Jackson, did Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week. She did all the Atkins diet books. So everything she touched turned to gold. So I made way more money, initially losing money up front, following my heart and following the person that had the emotional intelligence and the rapport building and the trust. I ended up making way more money in the long run.
And then just that communication she gave you of like passion and like that the flowers and the community, like just the communication that isn't even like a gesture in a way.
Oh, wasn't that nice? And so that, and then eventually, for the people writing books, here's my advice. Or you want to write a book. I have ADD, so I'm all over the place. So at first I tried writing the book on my own and I realized I needed help. And you can get ghostwriters out there. There's tons of websites that will help you. I had a ghostwriter on both books. She did not want her name in the book, but because I'm all about authenticity, I said, if you're going to work with me, you got to put your name in the book. I can't pretend I didn't have help, because anyone like me that's neurodivergent, that still has a story to say or information to share, and you have a life purpose that God has put inside of you, that is being buried, and you need to flip the switch to activate your prey drive to get this purpose. This is all about finding your life's purpose. He talks about the biggest weakness to extraordinary life. Do you know what the biggest weakness is? What do you think it is, Erin?
Doubt.
The biggest thing stopping us from having an extraordinary life.
Doubt.
No, it's having a good life. I have a good life. My kids are good. My house is good. My job is good. I have a good life, and having a good life stops us from having an extraordinary life. And so he talks about, what does that mean? How do we work with that? And it's a game changer. So Mariska Van Alst is my co-writer. She's a lot of money if you want to work with her. And she gets 1% of the book. So she helped me write both books. But here's the tip I'm going to share with everybody here, even if you don't get a co-writer. Mariska had me do, because I'm an evaluator, so I would write something and analyze it and tweak it and edit it, and I wasn't moving forward because I was constantly analyzing and re-editing.
Like
She
your
had me
kept going in a way.
what, hun?
Like your mind kept going.
Yes, it's like a ping pong machine.
Yeah.
So she had me create 10 the book had 10 chapters.
Okay.
Has 10 chapters, I think. I don't know, maybe we ended up adding one, but initially it had 10 chapters. So she had me do chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on my computer, I did 10 folders. And so if I have an ADD moment where I see a quote, whatever you're doing today, make sure it's worth exchanging a day of your life for, because that's what you're doing. Ooh, I love that quote. Boom. Where could I put it? Ooh, chapter 4. Emerson said, I can't hear what you're saying. I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying because who you're being is getting in the way. Ooh, I like that. Let me put that in chapter 2.
Okay.
And so, a story. I remember the story with this firearms trafficker guy, and I went in and he was playing the fiddle, and I write up that story, and I'm like, I'll put that in chapter 6. Yep. And so I got to, instead of having to write a book from beginning to end, I got to allow my ADD to pop in and out of these 10 folders. And then when I was pretty full, she took all 10 folders and threaded the book together for me.
Yep. That is amazing.
So that's my
story. I gave her credit. I mean,
it's
amazing. And that's how I think when I become creative, the same way that you do with that, you're writing and she put it together. That is like magic. That is beautiful.
Yeah, she's a game changer. I love her. She's a fabulous woman. We worked along together so well. I haven't talked to her in so many years, but she's absolutely fabulous.
When you thought of her.
What?
You smiled when you thought of her.
I do. I love her. She has 2 little girls that I was thinking they're probably college age by now, because they think they were out of college. And I was thinking, one of the things I answer at the end of the night is I have a little journal, and my journal says, what did I accomplish today? What did I do well at? What did I not do well at? 5 ways I've been kind to myself today, and 5 ways I was kind to other people. And sometimes I come up short on the 5 things for myself or for others. And so when I mention Mariska right now, it's like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna call Mariska.
I was
And
thinking that's what you probably do.
yeah, I'm gonna send her a little note and say, hey, you changed my life. I've told Heather Jackson and Mariska many times, my life changed because of their, and my agent, Dan Lazar, because they touched me. God put them in my path, forever changed my future. Romans 8:28 in the Bible says, if you believe in God, everything is happening for your greater good. So this momentum happened for sure.
I just want to tell you that you changed. You helped a close friend of mine, Megan's perspective on a difficult situation she was dealing with. And I just don't want to forget to tell you that she's in the chat, but I just wanted to tell you that your energy, I know I would forget, so I wanted to make sure I told you.
Okay, well, thank you. I don't know how, is she going to share it with me? She
does have a question for you. And then also before I forget, I also wanted to read this because I think it's really important. Another Meg said, love this. I'm struggling with this myself and have 2 book ideas, but feel I could never do it. And she said that when you were going into manifesting and talking about your
author.
Your friend that made you smile. So I just wanted to mention that before I forget.
Well, I want to hold on. We'll take your questions, but I want to see if I brought this one book with me because there's something I want to share with everybody. Hold on. And I didn't take it. All right. I'll take questions in a second. And this is what I want to say about manifesting. And I saw this on TikTok. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys before, but number one, you can get a free, there's a great book called The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel. But if you go to YouTube and put in The Game of Life and How to Play It, you'll see it's a black and white picture. There's a woman who reads it, and her voice is so fabulous, and she reads majority of this book, almost the whole book. And so I mind mapped the living shit out of this book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. It was written like in the 1940s. And it happens to be based on principles in the Bible. Even if you're not a Christian, some of the principles in the Bible are still really helpful just to be a good human being. But she talks about how to manifest. And what she says is you got to see it, believe it, and act on it. So for me, I want to have a lake house. And I visualize what it looks like. It has a gym next to it. And it's all this glass. I'm with my smoking hot, big husband. He's biracial. He's got a bunch of different things happening inside of him. I love that. So cute. And I imagine us working out in the morning and I see the mist coming off the lake. We know what I did. You got to see it, believe it, and act on it. I went to Home Depot and bought a key that says home, and it's in my wallet that I have where it says home, and I say this is my lake house key. Because you got to see it, believe it, and act on it. You could buy a welcome mat. What's that welcome mat in your closet for? Oh, that's for my lake house. Where's your lake house? Oh, it's there. You just haven't seen it yet.
When you're mentioning this to me, my body's feeling like I don't do that. That's what my body's telling me. And I'm wondering why that's happening.
Yeah, so maybe you need it because, I say the enemy doesn't want us to have the life that we want, the life we want. So there's this new technique, and I just discovered it a couple of weeks ago on someone's TikTok page. I'm like, I'm going to try this. Okay. And it is working like gangbusters. So I want to share it with you. I'm sharing it to every single person in my life that does manifesting or believes in manifesting. And it's crazy, which is this. When someone has a bad day, right? They stub their toe, they get a flat tire. They're like, oh, I knew it was going to be one of these days. I just knew it. I woke up late. I did this. I just knew it. And more bad shit starts to happen, right?
Okay.
Because manifesting is at that lower energy of that, oh. But when we get good news, hey, I just found a check for $1,100. I forgot to cash. Oh my God, I just found this check. I was manifesting money, unexpected money with good news attached, and I found this check for $1,100. Yes. You just kicked yourself out of getting more money because that momentum, that energy here is like, this is a surprise. Just like me with Maggie Barnes saying, hey, Maggie, I was expecting your phone call. It's a pleasure to hear from you. Yep. It has to come from that lower energy. So here's what you write. So every morning I fill out, and I'm so mad that I didn't take it here. But I fill out a page. So I have a journal, and it's like this size of a journal, right? This is my notes from Core TV's one.
And this isn't the thing you write at night? This is a new journal?
No. So the thing I write at night is about my day and what did I accomplish and how was I nice to myself? What am I proud of? And how was I nice to other people? Okay, so that's just like kind of wrapping up my day. This is a thing I do every morning. So I happen to have, I took screenshots of it. I have a Bible for women, and it's a 365-day Bible. And so I have a Bible prompt. I read like a piece of the Bible that day, and then I do this every morning. Then I read something, a book about health and wellness, another page, like a page a day. It's tiny, a little teeny book like this. So I read that. And then I do this, which is I take this piece of paper, it's a journal, and I fill from the top all the way to the bottom with why questions. Okay. So I write, why am I so successful? Why do my clients reach out to me constantly to book me for 2025? And why do they want to pay me so fast and in good amounts of money? Why, when companies are considering myself and other speakers, why does the person who wants me to come in have the strongest amount of influence and gets their way every time? Why at 55, become this June, am I more fit and fierce than I have been my entire life? Why do I have such, this is a one, why do I have such consistency? Why am I so consistent? Why do people, new clients who are watching my TED Talks right now, why do they see the TED Talks and say, we need to have her as a speaker, and they pay me top dollar? Why do my abs belong on the cover of a magazine? Am I a money magnet? Why am I attracting great men to me, to my life right now? Why, when I meet
goosebumps, Janine? I don't know why I'm getting goosebumps.
Well, here's what happens. It's a lower energy. I'm assuming that it's already true. And then it sends your reticulative activating system, whatever that's called. It sends reasons throughout your body to find out, why are these things true? Right? Our brain doesn't know the difference between what we say is true and what is reality. It doesn't.
I was thinking, I'm like, gosh, I'm like, am I a narcissist? Because I can relate to some of those whys.
Yeah, no, you just keep saying the why. So I fill a whole page. Before I leave, I have a split level house. Before I allow myself to go downstairs, Bible, the motivational quote, a to-do list that I've already started the night before. And then I have to fill, my kids will be like, Mom, you got to come down. And you got to make us breakfast. We got to go to school in 20 minutes. I'm like, I got to fit my pages of whys. And there's about 25 whys. And how I find them is and I'll send you a picture, okay. But I have behind, I don't have my phone is up here on a desk here at this hotel, but in my office, I have 3, now 4, because I just did my Christian manifestation board. But I buy giant picture frames this big, like those 11 by 14 picture frames. And then where the cardboard is for the frame, I take out the picture inside. Where the cardboard is, the actual cardboard, I cut out magazine pictures and words, and I do it all over the cardboard. And then I put that cardboard back in the frame. So all my manifesting boards are all framed in glass. Someone came to my house and they go, oh, where'd you get that cool artwork? I go, dude, that's my manifesting pictures. They're like, what are you talking? They thought I bought it at Home Goods.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, and then I reframe it. And so one of my things to meditate is I get all these magazines and it's very therapeutic for me. I rip out positive words all the time and I look at that word and I think of that word. And when I travel with a Ziploc bag. So if I rip something out of anything, I rip it out and I'll put it in, like sometimes hotels have free magazines or airports have free magazines. And I go, and I put it in a Ziploc bag full of my manifesting. So when I do my why journal in the morning, what I do is I look up on my vision board, like fit and fierce is one of the words up there. And I'm like, why am I so fit and fierce? And some days I do the same ones, right? Okay. Why do I have a life of abundance? Why are my legs strong? Why, when I walk through the airport, does everyone look at me and say, boy, she works hard. You could tell she's fit. Why do I turn heads when I walk into a room? Why does my ass look fucking amazing at 55? And so my brain, why am I so disciplined? That's a big one. I say every day, why am I so disciplined? Because guess what? I'm not a disciplined person. So all of a sudden you said I look nice tonight or my whatever. Well, thank you. So it's the why journal is changing my life. I started doing it and the next day I got 2 leads from clients. I got a lead today. My sister, because I'm manifesting, I want to close $200,000 in business in the next 10 days. So I had a lead today from a client that booked me like 10 years ago. They want me for February 14th.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Can I shadow you for like a week?
Yeah, you should. Where do you live? You should come live in my Airbnb for a week and watch me live my life.
You invited us three ladies
Yeah.
in the team, but I would love to come and shadow you because, like, I have a podcast on wrestling and I want to push it to a new level. And, like, some of the whys I can relate to, but some of the whys is physical. Like, I don't know if this is normal, but my body's reacting to, like, I want that to be true. I think I need to do this why.
Yeah, come live with me. Come for a week. You can live there for free in my Airbnb. Let's look at our schedule. Take me up on it. And the other ladies, and if you have listeners here that want to join it, and the Airbnb is a queen size bed and then a queen size air mattress and a couch. So up to 5 people.
If I could come with maybe some girlfriends who would like if it would change their life, I would love that because I want to wake up and say that the way you're saying that because you are all those things, Janine. Like,
yeah, well, thank you.
You are a powerful woman, and you are. You have a presence. It's amazing. I hope, and you know that, and you don't need
thank
to
you.
That. That's
Thank you. I'll receive those compliments. By the grace of God, I get to do the things I do and know the information that I know. Today from the stage, I said, I talked about a TED Talk I'm doing in 2025 on interaction styles. We think there's extroverts and introverts, but there's actually 4 interaction styles. And you can be something different in each stage of decision making, research, reasoning, and the results. So you could be an extrovert with gathering data, but an introvert with deliberating. And then you could be one of these other 2 categories with executing decisions. So I told the audience, this is my big TED Talk. It's going to go crazy viral around the world because no one's ever heard of this stuff. It's going to change how we communicate. A woman came up to me afterwards and she said, Janine, I'm a fellow speaker and I'm the one that hired you. I know Dr. Mary Gardner, and these were veterinarians that specialize in skincare, dermatologists, veterinarians. Okay, so like 120 people.
Yeah.
It's a specialty. So I'm start talking to her. I go, what do you talk on? She's telling me what she talks on. And I said, oh, what do you charge? And she's like, $2,000. I go, okay, now starting today, it's $10,000. You can negotiate down, but it's $10,000. She goes, oh, I'm from the Midwest. I can't ask for that kind of money. I go, yes, you can. And now you need to do a Zoom call with me because you need me to coach you. Stop that shoulder shrug. That's the just. Can I ask you just $1,000? $2,000? No, it's $10,000 and I'll work with your budget because it's the new year. Boom. So she goes, I've always wanted to do a TED Talk, but I don't know if I could do it. And I go, listen, you need to start telling people, here's my TED Talk. Good news, everyone. I'm doing a TED Talk 2025. Here's my topic. She goes, yeah, but I don't even know how to get it. And I go, right. You think I have a TED Talk for 2025 already lined up? No. I don't have it booked, but I'm on the stage. See it, believe it, and act on it. I'm acting on it by telling everyone my TED Talk in 2025 on the interaction styles is the biggest of all my TED Talks. It's going to go viral and it's going to impact people's lives and change the way they look at the world. So you've got to say it, you got to believe it, and you got to act on it. So
I need to make some changes.
She's calling me, so I gave her my cell phone number. I'm like, okay, us women have to help women.
Well, sure. I hope you know that I'm that type of woman that will call you and be like, okay, when am I coming? And how many friends can I bring in? Can I bring in my camera?
Yeah. Listen, shout at me. Listen, one of the things I do mind maps and I'll teach you them. You can see me because I go on Court TV. This week was twice, but usually it's like once a week on Court TV. And a mind map has like a center point. Today I was talking about head tilts. What happens if someone's tilting to the left versus the right?
Really?
And so, yeah. What, hon?
I just did it.
Yeah. Well, we don't have time to talk about it. We'll have to. Where are you going to move your platform? Are you going to go on Facebook Live or what?
Yeah, we're going to be on Instagram. We are on Instagram now. We are on YouTube and we are on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Right now. So, yeah.
That's great. Well, bring me back and let's plan on when you're coming out here, Erin, and I can't wait to meet you and your friends or whoever. Maybe you can auction off one of your followers here gets to come with you and do some type of challenge and be like, hey, you get to come out with you, Erin and her friends and hang out at my house.
One last question about that though.
Yeah.
It's work, isn't it? Because I can tell. This isn't going to be like we're shattering that. You are hard worker.
I am a hard worker. My last name's Driver. I say it's a really good word, but good manifesting for me to have that word as my last name. It's going to be fun. It'll be hard work because I'm going to make you do things, but it'll be so much fun. So I'd have you go I'll show you my whole routine.
Okay. I'll message you. I'm not shy on messaging you. So how was all your travels?
Great. I'm exhausted. I was on Court TV this morning, so I got in. I went to bed last night. I had an event at 8 a.m. West Coast time, so I went to bed at 1 o'clock here, so that's 4 o'clock my time.
Yep.
And then I did Court TV. I weighed in on a murder case. This pharmacist that most likely killed her husband. She's being charged with it. Yeah, that was at 5:30 here, West Coast time. So I got up.
You told me, I was like, you were up so early.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. So I was up at 4:50. Did that, and then I spoke I did a keynote for an hour and a half. But I got to tell you, it's all by the grace of God, because I'm really happy I get to do what I love. And I'm reading this cool book, since we're talking about books. Sometimes you meet an author and you buy their book, but you never read it, because like you kind of feel like you already got the gist because you saw them speak. So I bought this book. I got it. I've met Coach Michael Burt numerous times, and it's called Flip the Switch. And I've had it, I don't know, at least a year. And a week ago, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick this book up. And now I can't put it down. And I highlight the living daylights out of it. You can't really see, maybe?
I see the yellow.
Yellow, I dog ear pages. I'm like, okay, these are things I need to write down. This is about activate your drive to achieve a freakish level of success. And he talks about like animals, they're not motivated to go kill squirrels today, right? They wake up and they have a prey drive. So this book talks about how to flip the switch. The switch doesn't just turn on in itself in the room. You've got to go turn it on manually. So it's about understanding what's your prey drive and how to activate it. And it's very interesting. Everyone's a little bit different. So because of this book this morning, I'm like, I have a life that I love. My prey drive is activated, and after I had 2 hours from when I did my interview with Court TV before I spoke at 8. I'm like, Janine, go back to bed. And I'm like, go back to bed? Get up and do calisthenics, sister. So I did 45 minutes of calisthenics. My business partner came in to get my computer to do the run through at 7 a.m. I'm on the ground. She came in. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, my prey drive has been activated.
I'm going to have to get this book because I want that energy.
Yes, flip the
Love
switch. Coach Michael Burr. So interesting. He talks about, he's a basketball coach for high school girls.
Okay.
And he talks about the parents would go in and inevitably almost all the parents would say the same thing. Will you help my daughter unleash her potential? She has this potential. Why? Help her unleash the potential. And know what his question is? Have you reached yours? Do you unleash your potential? Because your kids are watching you. Have you unleashed your potential? Oh, even me reading it, I was like, oh, damn.
Should I be concerned if my answer is no?
Yes, right? I know. And you're saying activate my kids' potential, but we're not activating our own. So I literally had to stop at the end of chapter 3 because he gives us some writing prompts. But I want to do the questions. I don't want to go further until I answer his whatever. I don't know how many there are, but you're going to love it.
It looks thick.
It is pretty thick.
Yeah, it looks thick. Well, thank you for the suggestion of reading that. I always love a good motivating book. Yes, I love that.
I know. I need to. Someone take a screenshot of this so I can send it to Coach Michael Burt and say, "Hey Siri, take a screenshot." Does it work? No, it doesn't.
Yes, and I can send you that. Not a problem. This is recorded, so.
Okay, yeah, send me this so I can tell him.
I absolutely will. And this will be available on YouTube too, so I'll make sure that you get a copy.
Yeah.
Janine, it was such a pleasure. Thanks for giving such extra time.
If I can help anybody, my website is my name, JanineDriver.com. I saw someone here said we want her to speak. Reach out to me there. My cell phone number's on that site. Reach out however I can help. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, Erin, for inviting me and for shouting out my books. And thank you for the people asking the questions. I appreciate you coming up on the stage.
I know you're going to hear from me. Thanks again, Janine.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Erin. Good night, everybody.